Good morning, everybody. Today is February 12th. It is Tuesday, and this is Tuesday Morning Motivation. Sorry, I've been up since 6 o'clock. Actually, been up a little bit earlier. I had some business arrangements very early this morning. A lot of my trucking companies, a lot of my factories, and a lot of families get up early, and they need to talk to me before everybody else gets up because it's the only time of day they can get a hold of me, so I had to deal with that. So, this is Tuesday Morning Motivation. What are you doing today so far? You should have already got your day started, okay? You should have already get up, get going, got out. I'm hoping that your kids motivate you this morning. I hope that, you're not dealing with too much frustration. But you need a little conflict in your life in order to keep going. See, this is what people forget about. In order to succeed, you need to fail. In order to have a great day, sometimes you need to have a little conflict. You need to be problem solving at every moment of life, even if you're an extrovert, okay, and an introvert. Sorry, I meant to say introvert. If you're an introvert, you're going to be, oh, woe is me. But you need to have a little conflict. You need to pull yourself out of the shell you're in. You need to get up, get out, and get going. You need to know that you matter. You need to look in a mirror every single day. And you need to tell yourself, look, I got today. Here's what I'm going to do today. You need to go over it. You need to write things down. You need to write them down so that you understand what is going on. Most of all, you need to be safe when you're out and about. But you also need to be stepping outside your comfort zone on many levels. Now, people say, I can't step outside my... here's just it. Go on and watch Art... I'll tell you here in a minute. Forgot the guy's last name. Anyway, basically it just says just go out and do it. Quit telling everybody what you're going to do and just go do it. One of my mentors for one of our conferences did it. He said, look, if your team is really serious and they're going to get going, you don't have to ask them to do the main things. You don't have to ask them. They're just going to automatically do it. But in order for them to do it, they have to know what to do. So you have to be consistent with everything you do. Everybody asks, why do you have meetings every Monday over at the Veterans Home? Why do you do that? Because I stay consistent. Whether anybody shows up or not, it doesn't matter. I'm doing it for myself. I'm doing it for my team. I'm doing it to stay motivated, okay? Everybody asks, why do you go running every day? Why do you go swimming? Because I do it to stay motivated, to get my blood pumping. People are like, oh, I'm too fat. I'm too lazy. Here's just it. People that have an excuse mean they're lazy. And I'm not trying to say this to be mean, but guess what? I know people that are missing arms, legs. I know people that were diagnosed with cancer, fought it and won. I know people that got diabetes, fought it and won. They just have to change habits. They have to change habits and get on a good regimen. But if you're not consistent, nothing will happen. You know how many people I know that go into a business, they open up a business, but they don't show up. If you don't show up to work, are you ever going to get paid? If you don't show up for a business you run, is it ever going to make money? If you don't show up to the factory or show up for the truck driving job, if you don't show up, you're not going to have a job. So you have to be consistent. So right now, you're already consistent with knowing you need to put food on the table, you need to show up. If you don't show up, you don't get paid. Great. That's the first step. Believe it or not, you're doing great. That is the first step of true success, is understanding if you don't show up, you're never going to get paid. Simple as that. Now, how about the people that want to go out there and do even more with their life? Well, you can have the opportunity to do more with your life no matter what you do in life. The reason why is because you already got the hard part done. If you don't show up, you don't get paid. Okay? You also know that if you don't work, you don't get paid. You also know that if you don't try to push harder, you're not going to get the raises. You're not going to get the time off. You're not going to earn any vacation time. And so many people, they just throw their hands up. All these college kids today, they get out of college thinking, since I went to college, I'm guaranteed a job. No, you're not. You know what else? Something that the college kids are equal with everybody else in life? Hard work pays off. He who's willing to do the job is going to get it. He who's willing to excel at the job will be paid more money. And he who is willing to take that job, do something great with it, keep pushing it forward, and then coming up with new ideas, will run that job and will own a new business that's in that job. In other words, you can show up and go to work and you get paid. Or you can show up, go to work, be excited about what you do, and always look to make things better, and you'll get the supervisor position. Or you can go to work, look at the job, make things better, but then give examples and suggestions of making it even better. And then eventually you either run that job or you're going to go out and do it yourself, but in a better way. Most things today have already been created. They've been developed and everything else. So what's it matter? What's matter is he who does it better is the one that's going to get the money and the people. All you have to do is be polite, be kind, be courageous. Go and say thank you. Go and say please. Give hugs, give kisses. Do things with your family and friends. All you have to do is be a people person. All you have to do is go out there and not let anybody be a bully to you and you not be a bully to anybody else, but always push the boundaries. Always keep experimenting. Everybody says, oh, well, you're safe behind. You know what? I heard something from Grant Cardone that made a lot of day. Oh, I put money away for a rainy day. Great. When's that rainy day? What do you mean when you're saying you're putting money away from a rainy day? Oh, so you have it later on? Did you know that money that sits in a bank is not might only make like 3%, 2% interest? You might make a nickel a year or a month or something like that. But the people that kind of put it in 401 stocks and bonds and stuff like that, they're going to make either more money or they're going to lose it. But here's the difference. Eventually, you're going to have to use that money. So why not make money work for you? Okay? Now, as far as fitness, physical fitness and everything else, you want to know something? It costs more when your health is bad. The reason why people do physical fitness is to get up and get out is so that they don't have to go to the hospital, so they don't have to be sick, so they don't have to have headaches all the time, so they don't have to worry about taking drugs or medications or anything else. You know how many people I know that beat the odds because of their habits they changed? So the whole idea is to change your habits. The whole idea is getting on a good path, getting on a good pattern. Take a break every once in a while. Rest, relax, but then go hard at it. There's a reason why they say give things 90 days. It's because your body can take 90 days, but then you need to rest and relax and change the environment, change your social settings. Go where you're celebrated, not tolerated. Be better today than who you were yesterday. But you got to get yourself motivated some way, shape, or form. You know what? The one thing that motivated me some of the most in my life is when my daughter was born. When she was born, not a single person get through to my stubborn head. I'm just telling you from example. I held my daughter in my arms and I looked down and you know what I saw? I saw my dad. I saw my family. You know what I heard? I heard everything they told me that I wasn't listening to before. Hey, Dad, you want to spend time with me or you want to spend time at a place that's just going to keep taking all your time and money and never be able to spend time with me? I know people do rumor and gossip, but it doesn't matter. My daughter changed my life because she was the only person that could get through to me. And sometimes you got to find that one person that'll get through to you that you'll listen to, okay? Now, on a good note, you know what also motivates me is some of my friends. They hear us talking about it, and when I'm around my Marine Corps friends, and I was talking with a friend of mine yesterday, and I was over in Florida over the weekend, and one of the biggest things that I did was I got around a couple of my Marine Corps buddies. And it's funny because we're unfiltered. There is no boundaries for us, believe it or not. And it's kind of scary in a way, but also pretty awesome in a way. But some of my motivating things is I watch one of my friends. I'm not going to say his name or anything. But, he's been divorced, got remarried, but he took on his wife's children along with his own and loves her kids just as much. And what I see is has internal conflict because he loves those kids with his entire heart, but then he watches a dad that don't give a rat's patootie about their kids, but wants all the credit for, the problems the kids have, and, oh, woe is me, but he's never in the picture. And yet he's the one that's taking them to the hospital, taking them to the doctor, making sure they get to bed on time, making sure they have the medication, making sure that the mother's happy, making sure that they have money coming in. And he just every day never asks for anything. But then you have the deadbeat dad over there sitting there taking all the credit, sitting there saying, hey, look at me, woo, and it means nothing. So my motivation is my Marine Corps brother who never asked for a thank you. He never asked for the responsibility. He just took it on and went with it. That's motivating to somebody like me. Other things that are motivating to me is when I see my neighbors, family, and friends, they're outside running up and down on cold days, whatever, I'm too cold, and yet they're outside running or they're out there working out. When I go out to the farms and I see the farmers in the field working day in, day out, somebody made a good example. What's a farmer? He's one that has to put one of his cattle down the day before, who each, the cattle are money. But, he might have had a dead calf or something like that, but he still has to go to work the very next day. You want to know something? Every time there's a loss, whether it's a family member or whether or not it's a farm animal or just a regular dog at the farm, it affects each and every farmer out there. Why? Because they love everything they touch. They care about it. They may be hard. I had an uncle that was the hardest person in the entire world. I swear up and down I couldn't get the guy to smile if my life depended on it. And then later on in his life, the thing about it is, I bucked bales for him and everything else. It was very motivating to buck bales for days on end. If you don't know what bucking bales is, the square bales, they come up on through the machine as the tractor's running. You put it on the back of a hay wagon, you take them over, you put them up in the barn, you put them up in the loft, and you go back and you do more. And you have to keep working it. And I did this for him. You want to know something? He never complained about me. But he never smiled either. But you want to know something? He's got a big family. He loved every one of them. And to him, working hard for his family, putting food on the table was the most important thing. But a lot of us have gotten away from that. We've gotten away from what's important, which is our family. It's our friends. It's the people that were kind and caring. You know what? I never knew he sat on the school board. All I know is when I saw him smile for the very first time is when my daughter went up to him, didn't know who he was, to give him a hug. And he smiled at her. And then every time she would get around him, he would always smile, look down. Then he'd look up with that scowl, and I was like, And I just looked back and like, man, that guy's an old softy. Because he had something to motivate him. That's why I know his family motivated him. Because he looked back at his family, and I'm his family, and everybody else. And I saw when he went forward, he was motivated for his family. He was motivated for his friends. He knew what he had to do to get the job done. He also knew he had to grow. He was a very successful farmer. And his boys are successful, his daughters are successful. And he smiled at the people that he knows needed to have smiles. He scowled because he knew we loved him. And he didn't have to smile at us, because we already knew what he was doing was important. Every day in your life, you have to find the little things that will motivate you. My uncles motivated me. Anyway, I got to take this call, everybody. I'll talk to everybody a little bit. Bye.